going on? Work! Jeez. Someone give me a lift. Come on.
Do you need a lift?
Wait, aren't you Zed Nasheet?
Your net worth is as big as your net worth. So life is all about sales. And I'm here to conquer. You are Zold, we're Zold. You're not sold unless you're Zold. Fear is something that you walk outside, you get bombed. That's what real fear is.
Welcome to the Come Up Starter Kit, guys. This show is all about taking your career from 0 to 100 real quick. If you are lost, confused, or just plain stuck, I'm here to help. Now, who am I? I'm Shankar, your soon-to-be favourite career coach. With over 7 years experience in the recruitment game, there's nothing I haven't seen, and I help people just like you land that dream job. In each episode, we'll speak to one of my friends who's done something a little bit different in their career. We'll go along the journey and understand what they've done that's made them so successful. Along the way, I'll give you tips and tricks to help you with your own very come up. Let's get it. Welcome to the Come Up Starter Kit, guys. My name is Shankar and I have a very special guest with me today, Zed Nasheet, who is the founder of Zed Real Estate. Now, Zed is an Australian icon. He sells Australian luxury property and has dealt with Australian celebrities. I cannot wait to get to know him.
Shankar, thank you.
Thank you. Now, Zed, I'm going to tell the people a little quick story that they may not know. Zed is the fastest selling real estate agent, having sold a property in 15 minutes. Tell me, Zed, how do you do that?
Rapport, relationship, and being able to educate the clients and getting the deal done, making sure the transaction runs smoothly. And trust, obviously. So you need to make sure that you focus on providing value on the table and educating them, because real estate's not a short-term transaction, it's a long-term game.
So Zed, tell me, you deal with luxury homes and you are Australia's fastest selling real estate agent. What are the type of homes that you sell and what are the worth?
I didn't start with selling luxury real estate. My average house price was around $400,000 to $600,000. Now, right now, probably the cheapest house I have is probably $3 million.
Now, you also deal with a lot of affluent people here in Australia. Now, in terms of that, we won't go into names, but what are the type of figures that we talk about when they're looking at buying houses?
There is no difference between dealing with a vendor at $400,000 or a $4 million home or a $10 million home. The only thing that actually changes is the person's profile.
Yes.
And every single CEO, every single person is hungry for service. Now, whilst they're making the biggest transaction of their life, one thing they crave for is over service and under promise.
And so talk to me a little bit about that. With customer service being such a huge thing, what are your key takeaways when you are giving good customer service?
If you're in sales, you need to be available 24/7. If you're in sales, you need to be enthusiastic. If you're in sales, you need to put out positive vibes 24 hours a day, because sales is a 24/7 job. And if I was to rewind myself back when I was in my 20s, I'm not saying that I'm old right now. However, the first thing that I would do is literally talk to every single person out there, because it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you in the game.
100%. And now you're a big believer in networking. If someone that is scared about networking, what would you suggest to them?
Your net worth is as big as your network. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you create for your business. You need to talk to minimum 50 people a day on a daily basis if you actually want to get to the top. Now, if you want to get to my level, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I'm probably 5% there. You need to work after 10 o'clock. And I tell this to my staff members all the time. You want to make the same money, you just need to work harder than me. You need to pick up your phone at 11:30. If I pick up my phone at 10:30, you should be picking up your phone at 11:30 and provide that service. Because we deal with some international clients. I just sold a house and my clients were in Singapore, just under $3 million. He loved it because the Singapore time difference is, so whilst he finished work, I was at 11:30, I was closing deals for him.
So Zed, I hear that you have created a new word and put a word in the dictionary. What is that word?
It's about leaving something behind. It's about creating a legacy. And I wanted to point a difference for the business. Zed Real Estate, you've tried A to I, now try Zed. You're Zold now.
Zold. Zold is the word.
Zold is the word. You are Zold, we're Zold. You're not sold unless you're Zold.
Now guys, beside all the fancy cars, the fancy houses, let's get to know Zed a little bit more and deep dive into his life. So Zed, tell me, how would you sum your life up in 60 seconds or less?
Hot dog boy, a refugee that came into this beautiful country as a migrant and saw endless opportunities. That you can be anyone you want to be as long as you've got goals, you've got dreams, and you can take risks in life. And I saw opportunity here and I'm here to conquer.
I like that, I like that. Now you embody, started from the bottom, now we're here. You've had a tough upbringing, you were a refugee, and now you're here in Australia. Tell me about that and how that shaped you mentally.
The best thing that happened to me was I was born in poverty. We grew up in a war zone and we had to migrate to a different country, and we were taken advantage, and Dad had to do whatever he could in order to put food on the table. I think that plays a massive part of my motivation, and that's exactly where my motivation comes from, so I could conquer, because I've seen the poor side and I don't want to have to go back towards that, the background that I've come from. And I'm seeing opportunities in here, and that's why when we landed in this beautiful country, I saw that in this opportunity. And I can be who I want to be. There's no such thing as class in Australia, because back at home, if you're a taxi driver, I'm better than you. If I'm a doctor, I'm better than you. If you're an engineer, you're better. So everybody has equal rights in the westernized world, and that's what I love.
You moved from overseas to Australia, you go to school. What's schooling like for you?
Schooling was tough. I don't know how to speak English properly. I knew how to say I love you, how much, and you're beautiful. Yeah, right. Those are the 3 words that I actually knew. I did get bullied at school because I didn't know how to speak the language. So a lot of kids would take advantage of me, blah, 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 which I'm sure a lot of migrants go through. I started in year 7 in here, and it was tough. However, I came across some lovely friends, which I'm still in contact with right now from my own community, and that kind of helped me out as well.
And what were you like at school? Were you the funny guy? Were you the sporty guy? What type of person were you?
I was funny, I was focused, and Dad's always taught me, focus on your education. Focus on becoming the best there is out there. However, I wasn't the best student there was out there as well. But there was times where I used to, take advantage of the girls, and they would do my homework because I just hated studying. Right. If only your parents, if only the schools would teach you that you go to school for yourself, not for us. Imagine the mentality, the psychology, and everything in life you do. I think everybody would be one step ahead of themselves if they figure out the psychology as to why they go to school.
Now talk to me, how did you get your first break into real estate? Because it's a very interesting story.
There is so much pressure, Shankar, when you're a migrant, especially the Middle East or some European countries. The parents tell you, you've got 3 options, mate. Either you become a doctor, engineer, and if you're an accountant, you've failed in life. And I didn't want to be one of them. I wanted to be a businessman. I wanted to market myself. I wanted to be a salesman, and I wanted to be able to perform to the world out there. And in life, you're performing right now. I'm performing right now. The camera guy's performing right now. The minute you get up, you can choose to be a good performer or a bad performer. So life is all about sales. Right. And I picked the path. Let's just try and sell anything to anybody out there. So I don't just sell real estate, because real estate's never been about property, it's been about people. People buy off people they like, people sell people they like. So I love the whole marketing perspective, and I love the whole business perspective. I love dealing with people's biggest asset.
Now with real estate, the fundamental skill being sales, with so many people that are so afraid of sales, how did you run towards it, and how did you build yourself around sales?
I think the biggest thing that a lot of salespeople need to embrace is rejection. You got to make your last name rejection. Fear. If you don't kill the fear inside you, the fear outside can't do anything. So you have to kill the enemy within. You are your biggest enemy. And in sales, who cares what people think? Life, if you're doing good in life, people are going to talk. If you're doing bad in life, people are going to talk. So you have to try and learn how to do things that's outside your comfort zone so you can grow in life. And you got to challenge yourself. You are your biggest competition. Sales is all a numbers game. The more people you speak to, the more opportunities you create for yourself. Whether you're a doctor or any field you're in, you need people skills. Yeah. So you need to be a people's person. Sales means people skills. That's how I look at it.
Was there a tactic or was there a method that you used to approach the fear? When so many people will stay in their comfort zone, what sort of pushed you to be like, okay, these are my fears and I'm going to conquer them? Was there a way that you did it?
Maybe fear is a really big word coming from an Afghan background, because fear is something that you walk outside and you get bombed. Fear is something you go outside and you get kidnapped. That's what real fear is. Fear, taking risks in life in Australia and the westernized countries, that's not fear. That's you feeding bullshit to yourself. The harder you work, the luckier you get in these countries. It's as simple as that.
Another one of your passions is music, where you would play in bands, right, for Afghanistan weddings. Yeah. What was that like? How did you get into it? And I think that there in itself is just, you're on the stage letting people know who you are.
It's interesting you brought up music. I come from a family of musicians, My dad's not a musician, my mum's not a musician, but my older brothers are musicians, and that's how it started. And it made my community, it made me get closer to my community via music. Last week, I still do music. I have people coming up to me all the time at weddings like, why do you do music? They forget that you need hobbies on side. Life isn't just always about, going through the speed and just following the money and blah, blah. It's not about that. It's about following your passion, following your hobby. And music is a hobby to me. Even if I turn into a millionaire, billionaire, whatever I turn into, I'll never forget about music. It realizes who I am, who I was, and where I've come from.
Now, I want the audience to captivate who you are. So you started off selling hot dogs, and then you hustled to get a job out of year 12. Let the audience know about that.
A lot of people, they think that I got lucky. But you know what luck is, yeah? Luck is when preparation meets an opportunity. And the more people you talk to, the luckier you get. So it's up to you to be able to create opportunities. And life is a numbers game. Straight after high school, I literally spoke to every single person out there that walked past me. I'm like, what do you do? If you drove a nice car, what do you do with yourself? Right. Talk to me. Because worst case scenario, he would just say, I'm not interested in talking to you. Good. 1 out of 10 people will just be nice. Yeah. But that's one thing that I took away that day. And then I implement that into my own personal life.
From other interviews, you hustled that lady to get that job. How did you keep persisting because you wanted that job?
I'm going to be honest with you. I used to work at Telstra, and every other sales consultant around me, they were scared to ask people questions. They just wanted to solve a problem, and that's it, not build a report. Yeah. Customer service is always about building a report and doing more than what you should get paid for. Yeah. And that's exactly what I did. I asked the question, what do you do with yourself? Come on, this, that, blah, blah, blah. She loved my selling skills. She loved my confidence, not cockiness, but confidence. Yes. I didn't make it feel, I showed interest about her life. And that's when she's like, you know what, you're going to do very good in real estate, son. You need to quit this job right now. Tomorrow afternoon, come for an interview. And that's how my real estate career started.
And how was that? How was your first taste of real estate? What was that like? How would you share, I guess, a day of a life of?
I failed for 3 years.
Right.
I failed. I didn't make $1 to my name. Right. Because to me, it wasn't just about making the money, it was about self-education. And the struggles that I went through those days, it's made me who I am today. You're gonna struggle at any game you want. You can't expect to jump into a business and then just, have cash flow coming in. It doesn't work like that. Just like anything in life, I told myself it takes time. And everybody told me to quit. Quit, mate, you're not making money. What are you doing? Go get another path. I didn't want to be like one of them. But what set me apart was my self-belief. And in life, anything I do, I'm very self-reliant. I don't rely on anybody else to do anything for me. Yeah.
When everyone is in your ear saying, give up, don't do it, especially when it's close people as well, how do you push past that?
Self-belief. Right. Your own self-belief is what's going to separate you. This is how I look at it. If you can do it, I can do it. What's the difference between yourself and myself? There's only one answer to it. You're more valuable to the marketplace. So don't wish it was easier, wish for more wisdom.
And how did you build that self-belief with so many people feeling that they can't do it? How would you encourage people to get that self-belief?
Via time. Right. I made a lot of mistakes. Right. People make mistakes all the time. There was a time where I transferred $200,000 a deposit into somebody else's account. I was so nervous. I'm like, what have I done? It's not about $20,000, it's about $200,000. You learn via mistakes. You learn via getting rejected on a daily basis. It's like making 50 phone calls, the 51st phone call you've just made, and they've just said yes. Slowly, you start to build your confidence up. It takes time like anything else. It's okay to make mistakes. It doesn't matter because we're humans, we're born to make mistakes.
Now, for people wanting to start a career in real estate, what does a day of a life look like as a real estate agent?
The best thing about real estate is that you're running a business within a business. Yes. It's up to you as to how much money you want to make. And the way that you make the money is what drives you, what's your perspective, what are you working for? I got mates that work at Coles. My best mate, he's the happiest person in the world. And after 15 years of being at Coles, he's still a casual person. He's like, I don't want more in life. I'm happy. To me, in my eyes, he's the world's most successful person because he's found his happiness. Yeah. But a day in a real estate agent's life, in my life, I get 59 phone calls a minute. But I've got to give them the service. And I work with people that actually work after hours. The first question I interview my people is like, all right, are you going to work after hours? The lawyer I talk to, are you going to work after hours? The brokers I talk to, are you going to work after hours? Because that's exactly what Zed Real Estate's all about going beyond your abilities to be able to service the client.
Yeah, 100%. Now, you've founded Zed Real Estate. You have so many people begging at your door to join your company. What do you look for someone that wants a job here?
Good human. I've had so many people that sent me the resume saying, I'm already making $1 million a year, I'm already doing this, I'm already that, I'm good, blah, blah. I don't look for money, I look for good people. Because good people look after other good people, and they create a good culture. And good intentions, being authentic, being vulnerable. I never ever rely on my staff members to make me money. And that's exactly what happened in the last 8 years that I worked for somebody else that relied on me to make money.
Right.
And that was a very bad culture.
Right.
People thought I was cocky. I was never cocky around my work colleagues, nothing at all. I just didn't have time to say good morning. I don't want to say good morning. Time is valuable. If you speak to Warren Buffett, the billionaire, he will tell you, I could buy anything I want, but I can't buy time.
And you're also a big believer in self-education. What do you mean by self-education?
Everything I know, I'm street smart. Whatever I want to do, if I want to learn about marketing, I'll read a marketing book. If I want to learn how to do, like for example, TEDx Talks, I did Zed Talks.
Yes.
I read the whole book, TEDx. Learn, self-educate yourself on and the ideas that you have on that specific field that you're in that is relevant. For example, let's just say videographing. If I want to be a videographer, I'm going to be the best videographer there is. I want to make sure that everything's packed up, ready to go, and learn every single skill that I need to do in order to become the best in my field. Because you don't get in life what you want, you get what you deserve and what you are.
Now Zed, tell me, how important is formal education to you? Does it make the person?
It's very important. I think formal education is very, very, very important, especially in the field that you actually want to be in.
Right.
But it's not compulsory. It shouldn't be a must. I want you to go get educated in a specific field. Do you know how many people I know? I've got a kid sitting right here. He's studied business and marketing, but he's not even working in his field. That's 4 years of his time that he got wasted. Yeah, you got the knowledge,
Yes.
you got the certificate, you got the diploma. What does that even mean? His pockets are empty. Formal education is very important, only if it's in a field that you actually want to be in. There's no point, I don't know, 90% of the population out there, they just go out, get into uni just because they want to impress their parents or their family and friends and all that. I think that kills our culture. We live for other people, we don't live for ourselves. I changed my life. I am where I am because I stopped worrying about what other people had to say about me. People's opinions doesn't have to be my reality. People's opinions doesn't pay your bills.
That's such an interesting topic where so many ethnic people, even a lot of people, are concerned about their parents and pleasing their parents. To build that resilience to be like, no, I know what I'm going to do is, this is what I want to go do and this is what I'm going to go do and how I'm going to go do it. How do you even come to that point to be like, I'm not going to listen to my parents, I'm going to listen to myself?
It's important to listen to your parents because they've already been there, done it.
Yes.
They can guide you on what's right, what's not right. However, I can't get real estate advice of my dad. If they don't have that specific info in that specific field that you're in, maybe ask somebody else, give them that respect, go out there, have a coffee with them, and sit down and learn. Then you can educate your dad and paint the picture, Dad, this is what this guy's done, and you can, because it's always about selling. Then you can sell that idea to your dad, and then your dad will encourage you, help you to get to that field that you want to be in.
With so many kids that they don't know what they want to do, they don't know what they want to become, how do you give or how do you inspire someone that say, hey, this is not the end all or be all?
Nowadays, we're very lucky. You can literally jump on your mobile phone and look up to somebody that actually inspires you on a daily basis. I get thousands of messages on a weekly basis like, I want to be like you, I want to be like you. I feel like I want to be like somebody, you know what I mean? So you can literally scroll up and get so much value out of just a mobile phone. So follow your heart, follow your passion, go out and catch up with these type of people that are actually already in the field, that are smashing it, that are killing it.
All right, guys, in the next segment, what we're going to do is get Zed to teach us about sales. So you've got a phone interview coming up. Here are my top 3 tips on how to make sure that you kill that next phone interview. When you are about to have a phone interview, this is all about a screening process. So what the recruiter is trying to do is ensure that they qualify you to find out that you are the right person for that role. Tip number 1, make sure to ask questions, because guys, as much as they're interviewing you, you want to be interviewing them to make sure that this is the right role for you. Tip number 2, your communication skills. So fundamentally, on a phone interview, you are being assessed around your communication skills. So make sure to slow down and speak clearly. Tip number 3, the job description. So when you are on the phone interview, whatever you are saying, you want to relate it back to the job description and the job advert that you have applied for. So using common phrases within that job advert is going to help you go a long, long way.
Here are my sales tips. Number one, if I was that young Zed again back on the road, which I still am, I would talk to every single person that walks past me. People walking past you, ask them the question, what field are they in? Are they looking at selling? They're looking at buying. Get their names and numbers and follow them on social media. There is 27 million people that actually live in this beautiful country. Out of 26 million people, there's 9.9 million Instagrammers, 15 million Facebookers, 15 million YouTubers. That means every single person is almost on social media platform. Engage with them, message them, because in sales, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. Sales is a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you create for yourself. And if you're in sales, you need to handle rejection. You need to embrace rejection. Rejection should be your last name. And if I was you, I would literally talk to every single person with the intention of chasing a no. Because the more no's you get in sales, the closer you get to a yes. A lot of salespeople, they don't have structure. They spend half an hour talking to every single person out there about what they did on the weekend. Structure is important because it gives you discipline, it gives you direction. And if I was you, I would literally break down my time hours between 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. There are 3 strategies that actually real estate agents use in order to get in front of people. Cold calling, warm calling, door knocking, letterbox dropping, and nowadays social media. Cold calling and warm calling is all a numbers game. You only get 5 seconds to make a good impression on that specific client that you're chasing. So you need to make sure you pick up that phone with energy and say you're having an unbelievable day, it's the best day of your life, because Albert Einstein said the energy you put out is the energy you receive. And making sure ABC, always be closing. Don't let them call you, you chase them. The 6P rule that's changed my life, I'm about to pass it on to yourself. Plan your day in advance, prepare for a meeting, practice your pitch before you go out to see your client. And once you do practice your pitch, once you're at the door in front of the client, you perform it. You can choose to be a good performer or a bad performer. Once you've performed well and you provided value, what happens? You produce the dollars. And once you've produced the dollars, this is my favorite P, which is the last P. People forget to spoil themselves. You can party with your loved ones. Don't forget, plan, prepare, practice, perform, produce, and party.